friends, long time no chat, and happy Pi Day. I am happy to be back. You are screwing up my white balance. Sorry, we've got a very affectionate Orfeo at the moment, even though he is throwing off the white balance. Yes, I love you, buddy. I love you. He was sleeping, and then as soon as he heard like the beep, 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 he's like, oh, hello, let me come join. So yes, it is a happy Pi Day to all who celebrate, and I hope you do with pumpkin, which is arguably the best pie. No arguments. I will not take discussion, comments, or criticism. Pumpkin pie is the best. So I know it's been a little bit since we last talked. Last time we talked was my 1 year, and I mentioned I was going back to work, and so I've been back at work for 6 weeks, 7 weeks. It's an adjustment. The hardest bit is having the free time. So my partner and I both work shift work, so when I get home, he goes to work, and then I have the kids. And very rarely we have days off. Like right now, he's working in the afternoon, but I have the whole day off. So I managed to sneak away for some time. I mean, I've had some other chances where I could potentially have snuck in some time to film, but then it's things like nap schedules, or we wanted to go do some errands, or, and things like that. And I'm hoping now that I'm getting my feet under me for the schedule at work, I'll be able to carve out a little bit more time. And actually, I mean, this weekend, my parents are taking the kids for the whole weekend because there's like a winter carnival in their town, and then a St. Patrick's Day like music and food thing, which is great. So I was like, oh, maybe I should just film Saturday. But I was like, no, like, edit, film this so I can edit for tomorrow or Saturday, and then actually do stuff on Saturday without the kids around. He's very excited. He's like, oh, I have all your undivided attention. He's very sweet with the kids, but you can tell he also really, really likes not having them around. Right, my little boy? Hey. So, I actually have not done too terribly much since the last time I talked. I started a few things, I did a few things, but I've mostly just been working on a few projects and organizing and cleaning and updating my Notion. I'm slowly getting through that. I found out that there's only a limit of PDFs you can put in there before you have to start paying, so I have to rethink that plan. Yes, I do. And mostly just trying to finish off a few things, like I said, because I'm going to Stitch North at the end of next month, and so I kind of have plans and ideas and shenanigans, so I want to get all those done. Speaking of shenanigans, I've been participating in a lot of shenanigans, and that has been a joy and a delight. So let's go on with what I've done. So actually, it's kind of a start and a finish, because I've started it since the last time, and it's fully finished too. This is my little ornament. I've taken part in a spring ornament swap hosted by Vintage Sogal. And so the theme was spring. Oof. And so I picked this cute little moon bunny, or also known as Dreaming of Carrots, and did that as my little spring, because I was like, bunnies and carrots is spring, and the person I'm gifting to mentioned that they really like space. So I was like, this seems perfect. And I'm a huge fan of needle lot designs, so I will always take an excuse to stitch them. And this was a really fun stitch. It is on a fabric. It's on Fabric Flare Creationist Blue, I think. I had issues with the fabric print I got, and the customer service I received when I pointed out that my fabric print was less than ideal. So I had a lot of people use them. I personally am using the cut I got, but I don't recommend them. Like, you can tell there's a whole swatch here. Like, because it was covered, it was okay, but like I said, I know I've talked about it in one of the other videos, so that is the fabric I used, but I do not recommend it. But it does work so nicely with the bunny. Sorry, censor. Yeah, so I finished it as a round ornament, so this has got like a little bit of puff behind it, and then it's in the felt covering the back. Managed to secure the ribbon in under that, and I did a little velveteen ribbon around the edge to hide any sins. It's not like Vanna Pfeiffer style finishing, but I'm very pleased that this is a very cute spring ornament, and I'll be getting that into the mail today. I just had to, I had to finish it. I had to find a few odds and ends. I was waiting on our odds and ends to be mailed to me, so now that I have everything, it can go into the mail. And it's late. It's not late, but it's not early. We'll go with that, but it's done. So that is item 1. I'm doing some other thingamabobbers. Okay, sorry. I'm doing 2 ink circles around robins. I only have one to show right now because I left the other one. Where did I leave the other one? I left the other one somewhere. I know I have a good sense where it is. I just don't know where it is. So this is the first one I'm doing, and it's almost done, which is why I'm not taking it down. And it is a Forest Path by Ink Circles. Obviously, it's Ink Circles Round Robin. And do I have this as the right? Yes. Most people, I think, start in like the top left, and I started in the bottom right because I like to work left to right. So when I started this like the middle, I was just like, I learned to go this way. And it is mostly done. I've got like a little bit of filling here and a lot of this green to fill in. It's kind of just been like a works project for me, so it's going fairly fast because if I just have the outlines and I just stitch the green, it goes well. I'm pretty much actually done 3 of the 5 colors. And speaking of colors, it's my own custom Valdani conversion. Like I did this conversion myself, and I am so proud of it. I really like it because some of it is very, like it's all variegated, but some of it's very subtle, and some of it's really like pow in your face, like here. So like the brown, the light brown and the pink are very variegated. The yellow is moderate, and then the dark brown and the green are barely variegated. So I like the contrast, like it's not all variegated, it's not all solid. So I'm really enjoying how that is stitching up. And like, look how pretty it is. I even made my own little floss drops to help with my group. So that was really what's going on. And I'm doing so this one I'm doing with Anna of Anna's Books and Stitches, and I don't believe the other 2 have Flosstubes. So it's Saskia and Teresa, and I'm excited because I know Saskia sent hers in the mail to me at the beginning of the month because it's coming from the Netherlands, so this has traveled more than I. And so I'm excited to receive it. It keeps telling me it's out for delivery, but then it goes, we're sorry we've missed the delivery day. The Netherlands tracking information is quite interesting. I look forward, though, to when it finally does show up. So that's one. And I'm doing another one with Melissa of Sheba Designs, Joe of Cross Stitch Joe, and Erin of 3 Cat Stitching. I'm doing that one with some silks and a 20 count. I'm like, not Aida, and now it's bugging me because I'm like, I need to go check because I thought I had it in this bin until I got it organized, but the baby nap time is like a ticking time bomb, so I'm like, if I go to find it, I'm like, oh, I might miss it, I might not, so I'll have to try and make sure, I have to make sure I film another Flosstube before I pass it off to Joe so you can see my beautiful work. It's growth rings and ta-da. Yes, hopefully I'll have that sorted out. I'm also doing the Link is my homeboy, Heather's Sassy and Snarky Swap. I'm behind on my stitching, but I'm doing a little quirky Quaker Bear for my person, and I'm going to put like a little sassy quote in it. I'm having some issues because I kind of changed how I want to finish it, and so I had to, you know how it is, you have a plan, plans change, and you get like annoyed, you have to kind of rethink, recalibrate, regroup, so I'm working on that. I used a sulky milk chocolate for the bear, and I'm using 4051, which is I think Forever Green, as the woods, and like actually here's what the pattern looks like. It's supposed to be blueberries, but I'm taking out the ground cover and I'm taking out this little bit, and I'm trying to make it coffee related, so I'm going to use DMC 115 to make it kind of look like coffee cherries. That is my plan. I hope it executes as well as I think it will, but right now the jury is still out. So that was all those sort of themed ones. I'm also working on my whip goes. I haven't posted my March calls on my Instagram yet. I have all the pictures. I just haven't gone into Canva to make it pretty graphic because I am lazy. I'm not lazy, I'm tired, and I got a lot going on. But it's all good, so I'll show you what I've got so far. So, for my January calls, I was doing the CC Cutie by Michelle Bendy Stitchy Designs, the Chupacabra, and I was doing it on a hand-dyed fabric with this sulky, and actually I was going to use the DMC 115 again. However, I was stitching it 1/1, and the stitches weren't lying as nice as I'd liked, and I was going, and I hated it, and I was like, okay. So I've been frogging it. So yeah, frogging 1/1 is so thick and it is just fighting me, and I get like 5 stitches out and I get frustrated. So it's been sitting next to me on the couch, so I kind of pick it up and I pluck out like 6 stitches and get annoyed. You know, frogging is always annoying, but this one is like I did a real good job putting those stitches in. Those stitches do not want to budge. The other one my other January call was the Carnivorous Terrarium by Lola Cross Stitch. We got as a little bonus gift at the end of the Greenhouse of Oddities. I'm also stitching this 1/1 on, so actually I'll put this. These two pieces of fabric were a square that I cut in half and dyed for my 2 January whip ghosts. The 1/1 on this, perfect, beautiful, love it, delicate. The 1/1 on this, garbage, trash. It's the sulky versus VMC, I know that, but yes. Sorry, my partner just decided to vacuum, and I don't know if that's picking up there, but yeah, okay. So like I said, so I was doing this, and I had a funny moment where I started to do I did like a whole 100 stitches, and I was like, these stitches are looking so bad. I was doing it 2/1 instead of 1/1, and so I had to go and unpick that, but again, it unpicked a lot easier. And I'm just like, girl, what are you doing? You know you're tired when. So my February calls were We Still Go On by Deist 20 Stitches. This is on another hand-dyed piece of fabric by me. As you can see, I've got some of the flowers, and I'm working on the dragon's head. And I've got the fantastic Bryn Nettle floss for it. I can't remember if this is the one Megan sent me or if it's the one for the other one, but I think it might be this one. And so I'm loving how the floss, like the variegation looks. It is gorgeous. It is fun. I just need to put it back into my rotation. I was just really trying to get the CC Cuties done, and it was annoying me. This last one doesn't look like much, and again, this is a leftover scrap from a fabric I dyed for my last swap with Heather, and it is going to be a ghost kitty by STITCHERY. So that's the kitty's tail, and that's a kitty's butt. I like kitty tail and kitty butts over here. Hey buddy. Yeah, this one's going along too. It's a paper pattern, and so haven't given it the time because I was focused on, what was I focused on? I can't even tell you what I was focused on. I'm probably just going back to work and such. And then for my March calls, it was another CC Cutie Squatch. I'm going to do him on this scrap of 36 count Dirty Linen Swag Art. Sorry, the sticker's still in the back, because I think that will look really nice as like the background. And then I'm thinking I will use Sulky 4050 as Squatch, and the Gentle Arts Pine as the trees. And I'm not 100% sold yet on that color combination. I think the Sulky looks good with the brown, but I think the Pine might be too dark. But that's my plan, and since the Pine is last, I can course correct as needed. And my final one is a digital pattern. It is a Spring Calico Cat by Stitch Sprout, and it's a very cute kitty. It's a digital pattern. I haven't printed it out or anything because it's Spring Cat, so I thought I would start that on the first day of spring because I like a themed start. And I have some ideas for finishing. I don't know how some people do this. I look at a pattern, and before I've even started it, I have an idea of how I want to finish it. And sometimes that's great. It's motivating. Like, it keeps me going. And then other times it's a headache. Like, for example, my spring ornament. I knew I was going to finish it round as an ornament, so I had ideas of how I was going to, So while I was stitching, I cut off some, like, bits and bobs to make it fit better. But then for that Quirky Quaker, I had an idea that's not going to work, so now I'm floundering and, like, going, like, it just needs to be finished. I could just finish it as an ornament, and that's fine for the swap, but when I do swaps, I like to do things really funky or different, or, I don't know, like, I want people to be excited that they got a swap for me. Like, I really do. I want people like, oh my gosh, like, she did such a great job, and to be excited that I'm, I don't know, this is maybe a people-pleasing syndrome, right? But, like, in group projects and things, you'd be like, I want that kid as my partner, and then you'd be like, oh, I don't want that kid as my partner, right? I want to be the person that I was like, yeah, great, I'm so excited she's the one giving me a gift. So I put a lot of pressure on myself that I maybe don't need to put on. I know I personally am just excited to get something, and I'm like, why am I doing this when I'm sure the other person feels the way I do? Stop playing with the floss. Does anyone want a cat? Yeah? Okay, that's a very nice purr. Thank you, honey. Okay, you're throwing off the white balance, though. Yes. Okay, so those are the whip goes. Those are that. I've got a few pieces I worked on and a few new start, so we'll go into that. I was working on my Moon at Night piece, which is by Bog Dragon Crafts. It is Sailor Moon. As you can see, I did oh, hey, you jerk. Yes, so I was doing this kind of like a full coverage February and a continuation of the Princess Birthday Sal from Cross Stitch the Globe and Allison at the Moment, and I was doing pretty good. I actually finished this blue tree color, but man, this minty pistachio green, it's killing me. There's so many stitches. Like, it's, oh my god, don't want that. Okay. Okay, he weighs as much as my baby, and so this is a challenge. You gotta go on the floor, buddy, if you're gonna keep doing that. So, yes. So, like I said, I was working on this. It's good. It's 15,000 stitches. I think I'm at 10% or 15% done. So, it's going along. It's, and I like that it's a lot of block stitching without being confetti. So, I like there's a bunch of care and consideration into that. It's just sometimes repetitive. Oh, is that a good spot? Oh, yeah. Okay. Cats. So that was that. We're work in progress. And then I've been really working on my Pumpkin Colored Autumn, which is a freebie from Owl Force Embroidery. Julie. I know her. Julie has a motif a week stitch along going on, and so I've been using that to really try and focus on this. So on Fridays, I'm trying to do this to my motif a week accountability as well as Owl Forest Friday. I really enjoy double dipping on my hashtag, so that way I get all the hashtags. And I did I looked at the whole thing and I divided because there's some motifs that are bigger, there's some that are smaller. But if I stick to the motif a week, I will finish this before the year is up, and that's exciting. And I'm looking at, I've got a whole bunch of other patterns I could kind of break up into chunks. So that was a fantastic idea, Julie, and I'm hoping to continue on it. I had 2 new starts. I mentioned this one on my Instagram. It's a very baby start. I've got, let me count even, 5 stitches in this. Is Maple Moon by Kingsland Publishing. I don't even know if they're still around. And that's the pattern. So as you can see, I started with that beautiful, attractive stump in the middle. That was an interesting day. So I started that on the anniversary of my grandpa passing away. And it was also the Maple Sugar Moon that day. So that seemed like a really good sign to start that day. Maple syrup is a weird, I know it's not weird. Maple syrup is one of the things I associate with my grandpa. Like, he passed away when I was when I was 18. And I have a lot of childhood memories, and maple syrup was one of those ones. He was a very proud Quebecois man, and he insisted that, his girls had the best maple syrup. So that, and this is a whole picture of harvesting maple syrup and things like that. If you've ever been to Quebec, there's a carnival, there's a winter carnival. Maple syrup's a big part about that. There's a whole bunch of little cultural connotations that give me fond memories of maple syrup and my grandpa. So I'm stitching this, and I'd like to stitch it and gift it to my dad as a memory of that, because it's his father. And this is on 40 count Silver Moon Zygarde. Yes, I said 40 count. I somehow all of a sudden decided smaller counts are okay. Yeah. And the reason I have so many few stitches is it was a Saturday, and my mom was coming up, so I was like, oh, perfect. She'll hang out with the kids, and I'll have some time to, stitch in the morning. So I got this set up, and for me, I can stitch with my kids, on my lap or wherever, once I've got established. Once I've got my thread, because I had to get this onto the Q-snap. I had to get it, find the center. Once it's all set up, I can deal with my kids doing whatever. It's just, I couldn't deal with it, because I need to get my first, 2 stitches in to anchor my do the single loop start and that. So I needed my focus to, find the center, count, all those things. And my baby was like, no, I'm going to be in your lap and nothing is about that. And I'm going to scream and throw myself around if I can't. So I'm trying to just get my few stitches in. Because once I have the stitches in, she can sit here, right? And I can, but she was not having it. And it was just child, give me 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. And it was chaos, and I didn't get very far. I will get further, I'm not in a huge rush to finish this. It's quite a large piece. I think it was I forget the exact dimensions, but it is on the larger size. Let me see if I can just, of course it's not convenient. Yeah, it's 225 by 131, so it's not a fast stitch. The last one, my new starts, is, so March 10th was Michelle of Bendy Stitchy Designs' birthday, and we organized a little bit of joyful chaos, which was just to flood her Instagram feed with pictures of us, like pictures of us working on her patterns, either finished ones or, you know, works in progresses or new starts. That was incredible. I just kind of posted a kind of like a little sneaky call out like the week before and like, hey, like we should do something nice. It's her birthday, you know? And the response was overwhelming, and so many people were like, it snowballed. So I was like, I'm just gonna make like a little graphic fake party invitation because it's cute. And just, you know, so that way people can share that, and, you know, there's no like, when does it start? What are we doing? Like, what's the hashtag? Because, you know, if you've ever, the information was getting lost. So I did that, and then everybody used that picture as like the cover photo, and I was like, oh my god, like I should have spent more time on that. Thank God Canva's free. But it was so like I was getting a little like, oh no, like everyone's using my graphic. But it was super cute, and I know she was really happy about it, and yeah. So I started her Grief Knows No Bounds piece, which is a collaboration she did with Aya Rosen, Miriam, Aya Rosen. Sorry, there's one more person. Yasmin. Sorry, I was going through. I was like, nah. And so I started in the center, and it's on 16 count, and the borders on the side are tight, so I had to go and make sure my center start was good. So right now, it's that. It's not a piece that she solely designed, but I think it really embodies Michelle, because there's birds, it is social justice, it's collaboration, it's supporting others around her, it's uplifting others' voices. It's a wonderful thing, and like that's exactly who Michelle is as a human. So I was happy to get that started. So that is those. And speaking of communities, I didn't share this because it's been busy and stressful. I organized with Megan, the Megan without the H, of the Long Distance Stitchers, a kitted up swap, which was really fun, and I think everyone mostly enjoyed it. I haven't heard too much negative feedback, so fingers crossed it was fairly good for our first swap. I think the only thing, we've had a few issues, but it's mostly been with shipping, like not so much the person, but like the vagaries of the postal system. Customs can accustom themselves to my anger. Sorry, 1 second. Hey, stop it. Yes, so that was great. We spoiled ourselves, and we did 2 different tiers because we had said we'd given them the option if people were unwilling to ship internationally, and that kind of bit us in the butt for the one level. And then so we're like, fine, we'll just join twice, which was really fun. I know Megan. So I got 2 patterns, which I need to start. I'm not going to show the whole breakdown because I'll show how when I start the patterns. But I got this from the other Megan of the Long Distance Stitchers, which is the Tiny Modernist Halloween Terrarium, with a full-on Cosmo conversion, which I'm really excited to work on. So that is one I need to start. And then from Hannah of Blacksmith Stitching, I got this fantastic Griffins of the Kingdom. And she sent me a project bag. This is like a Cottage Garden thread sampling, and like I am overwhelmed with it. Like I don't want to start it because it's so perfect. And like, you know, when a project is perfect, you're scared to make that first step because like, what if you mess it up? What if I mess it up? I'm not going to mess it up, but like, it's like a perfection paralysis. It's so beautiful, it needs to be perfect, and so I do nothing but stare at it. The only thing I've really been using, she sent me these delicious mandarin tarts that we've been we snarfed them all. They were so good. The one thing I have been using a lot, she sent me these fantastic little snips. I don't know what, like, they're so amazing. And I have, like, this little hands, there we go. Look at that amazing beauty. Like, I love this so much. Like, this is my personality. I want these to everywhere. Like, I want to be like Asher, like, oh, you mean this? Oh, these are just my custom snips. Oh, my custom snips. Oh, this little thing right here? Oh, you mean this thing right in my face so you can't miss it? My amazing, amazing scissors? like, I want to bring these to Stitch North, but I am not because I am flying, and these are less than 4 inches. These are teeny, but I am not taking no risks. Like, these will come to my retreat in Banff, where we're driving, but these are not going near an airport security line. TSA will want these. They will see these. They will want them. They will steal them. I'm surprised Customs didn't steal them. This is my baby. I love these more than my own babies, almost. I'm a little bit exaggerating, but not. Like, I've never, like, I love these. I hope that she is in Korea right now getting this weird, like, someone, what? Like, positive vibes. Because I love them so much. But yeah, that's what was super fun, and what I really enjoyed too is I was starting to find out new things, like designers and creators I didn't know about. And so one of those was Elliot. They use a designer called Soterius for their partner to send a project bag. And they're in Saskatchewan, and their shipping to Alberta is not expensive. So I got these little mini pouches. And they have like little bobbin. I don't use bobbins, but like, that's like fine, whatever. Like I do sometimes use bobbins, so it's like floss drops. And they're just like these little itty bitty folders. Like, I love these. These go in my work bag, and I've been fitting the my whip go claws into this because they're just perfect for like little ornaments. And they're such perfect spooky fabrics. So I am in loving these. That was a fantastic find, and I am very pleased with the quality of these. I haven't tried putting bobbins in them because like I said, I don't use bobbins, but love that for me. And the last project bag, as part of my swap, I had Kaylee helped me out fantastically by making some custom needle minders, and I have to do something nice for her at Stitch North. And since she was, I was having stuff shipped to me from her, I got a project bag to go with it. Look at this. It's beautiful. I love it, and it's so nice and roomy. I've been fitting multiple projects in it, probably more than I should. So that's the other fun stuff, and I guess I'll do one last bit of happy mail, and then talk about stuff I actually, well, I mean, I did pay for that, but like, when I'm buying things for my friends, I don't view it as buying things. I view it as being like, I love you, have some money because I love you, and oh, I get something too. Yeah. Stephanie from Cross Stitch the Globe, she asked me for my address for something, and then I was like, sure, like, I give out my address on Instagram, like, willy-nilly. My partner should not know that. And so, yeah, so she asked me, and I wasn't thinking about that. I was like, oh, maybe it's, like, a card, like, I wasn't thinking that why she was asking. I was just like, oh, there's something, like, I have answered some of her, like, YouTube contests, but I knew I hadn't won anything from that, so I was like, whatever, and forgot that she did, and then I got this in the mail. It is the Castle Sampler from Teresa Wensler. This one I'm very, like, the alphabet on this is very fancy, and there's like a little lady, well, it's probably embroidery, but it could be cross stitch. Yeah, it's, I don't know, it's very large. Yeah, no, it's very large. It's got like a nice, always nice to have a free alphabet. Yeah, and that's typical, 1,000,001 threads. 208 by 190. Yeah, this is massive. So I don't know when this is gonna happen. I don't know. There's not a dragon in it, but heck, there's a sky could add a dragon. Yeah, and she said, like, no, to pass it on when I was done. So now I'm like, okay, this has to go on top of my Wensler pile because I gotta pass it on. Oh, speaking of my Teresa Wensler, I am working on the Storyteller. Let me progress picture. It's on the scroll frame, so it's kind of a pain in the butt to take on and off to film a Flosstube, especially when I know I'm tight on time. And I was working on it before filming, and I'm going to be working on it after. It's kind of like my project of the day. So that's why you just get a picture, because the scroll frame is a pain in the butt to take on and off when you have a short time period. And yeah, I'm working on it slowly but steady. I want to maybe set some more constructive goals for myself on it. The blends are interesting. So like I'm working on the border, so and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do one strand on that little central motif lozenge, and then one strand on the border until I hit that wing, and then I'll alternate with like a strand on the border or lozenge and on the wing. And I like to kind of prep my threads for it because she has a lot of blends. So in the first, like, you know, 10 by 10, not 10 by 10, but like a 10 by 10-ish grid on that wing that's going to start, there is 12 different symbols, and 9 of them are blends. And like obviously the colors overlap, but that is a lot of floss to pull and organize, and it's like, girl, why do you do this to me? Like, it's so beautiful, I love it, but it's also, this is why it's so slow going. It's like, why you do this to me? So now I'm going to show my purchases. Because Teresa wants there goes in. I got the September 1999 Stitcher's World magazine, which has the ride, Dragon Ride. Let me flip to that. There's actually a couple other ones in this I wouldn't mind stitching. There's like some, and then I don't know. So let me, sorry. Oh, of course, there's not like a nice picture of here. I like this one. I like how her dragons are similar color palettes. So they could be like the same dragon, just in like different times. And I've seen some where they convert the rider to like to be more feminine. Like, so I might change the hair color to be me. But yeah, no, it's very exciting. The only thing I'm not excited about is that the rider is 1/1, and it's. I know there's chart errors in this because it's noted. Like I was noticing, because I was like, wait, this hair, this doesn't match up. But yeah, and I got this for $10. I was super excited. Like, it was a fantastic deal, and I'm very excited that I was able to get that one for that price. I also got one for carousel horses for free. I'm in my Buy Nothing group, and I just picked this up yesterday, so I have not gone through it. But this person posted like a bunch of like different cross stitch stuff, and I commented on them. I'm like, yeah, I cross stitch. Like, I'll take it. Like, whatever I don't want, I'll bring to freebie tables at the retreats or at the monthly meetups. I haven't been to one of the monthly meetups yet, but they exist. I just, their schedule wise don't work for me, but eventually. And so I picked it up. It's mostly in the Christmas stuff that I want to do, but there's some interesting angels that if I take off the wings, I like them. And so as I'm flipping through it, this is funny, because I'm going through and I was like, oh, my friend would like this piece. Oh, my friend would like this piece. So I've been, or like, oh, this Flosstube Instagrammer I follow might like this piece. So I've been either sending these random messages like, hey, you want this piece? Or like, or you know, like basically cold call. I'm like, hey, I know you like to stitch birds. Do you want this bird piece? Yeah, because I'm just gonna have to wait like 2-3 weeks to send that out, because I want to get. I hate handwriting my address on all this mail I'm sending out lately, so I'm getting like these little stickers of my address to make my life easier, and I need to buy more envelopes, especially like the bigger ones that will fit like a magazine in it, so I need to get so I just have to order that and wait for that. But so far it's been good. I really enjoy sending a bunch of mail and Happy Mail like that, and so it's been really fun. And my Buy Nothing group has been popping off, because not only did I get all that, I got an embroidery kit. This is they're a local designer, Angela's Art. And this is Mount Rundle, as you see. I've climbed that mountain. I have been up here. I have been up there. So I'm excited to have gotten that piece. It comes with everything I need, so I just need to learn how to, I don't know if that's straight stitch or satin stitch. I just need to figure that out, and I might figure that out on Saturday when the kids are gone. And then I'll have to also dig up all my pictures of me hiking Mount Rundle and, you know, combine them together. And I think that's why I was gifted. I was like, oh, wow, like, we hike that one all the time. One of my first 50K trail race was on that mountain. What did I do? No, I did the 25K. Sorry, my first 25K was on that mountain. And then, because I did my 50K at the... Yeah, I used to run ultra marathons. I want to run ultra marathons again, but... That was one of where, because Mount Rundle is like where the Canmore Nordic Center is, which is where we had part of the Winter Olympics. It's where a lot of Winter Olympians train. It's, yeah, so they have a whole bunch of facilities, and it's mostly mountain biking trails, but they run like ultra marathons and trail races on the mountain bike trails, because that's the same sort of terrain. And yeah, that was really fantastic to be gifted that. My last bit. I got some stuff off of 123 Stitch. I got some other stuff, but this is the stuff that still. So I got these two patterns from Lindy Stitches. Yeah, Prancing in the Tulips and Napping in the Poinsettias. Because I'm waiting for some fabric for these, and then I'm going to stitch these up. And Stitch Kit passed these on to my friend Erin because she sent me Bathing in the Asters, and we're gonna have a complete set that way. The only thing I don't like is Lindy Stitches uses Weeks Dye Works, which I don't use you know, I know for some people they get really frustrated because they're like, well, why you say that when you don't say why? And because like I'm like, this is old hat to say that I don't use it, and if you're new, you might not know it. So I don't use Weeks Dyes Work because they had a color named Confederate Gray, and they're not the only one. Zygarde used to have a color called Confederate Gray. There's a lot of connotations there. I'm not going to argue if you don't think that's inappropriate, that's on you. That's not on me. I don't believe in that. And the issue is not that they had it called that, because that is very color. It's when they were called in to be like, that's maybe not the most appropriate name. They ignored it, and basically they made a mountain out of a molehill. Like other companies, you know, they've been like, oh my gosh, whoops, our bad, changed, done, right? It was the attitude for me. So, which is a shame, because if they had done the work and made an apology, I wouldn't have feel so strongly, but I do. So yeah. So but the plus side is that instead of using Weeks Dye Works, I go shopping for color conversions. So what did I get? Sorry, let me pull up. So for this one, Prancing in the Tulips, I didn't bother getting a variegated floss for the white because I don't really particularly care. Potentially I'll blend a white and a gray floss together to make that. I don't think that's important. I went for chameleon floss because I feel like they don't get the love they deserve. And I got lemons and cyclamens. These are a South African brand of overdyed, so I got these ones for the tulips and the greenery. I think the light green is a little too light, so I might fussy cut that for the darker green, or I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on the green, but I do like it. I think it brightens it up. So we'll see. I'm not 100% sold is basically my bit. And then I had some issues. So when I first ordered for this one, where did I stick the... Oh, sorry. Where did I throw that on the ground? Okay, I can't find it. Oh, that's on me. So when I first ordered this one, there's overdyes for the red, the gray, and the green. And so I ordered this Banker's Gray for the cat. If you recall the pine that I showed earlier that I was going to use in the Quirky Quaker, I'm going to use that for the greenery. I just have thrown it somewhere on the ground. I can't find it swiftly. And then I thought I was going to use poinsettia for the poinsettias, but this is so pink. This is so pink. So I'm not using that. Instead, I ordered a combination. I'm going to use two different Valdani overdyes. One for the carpet and one for the poinsettias. I thought that would keep it fun. Yeah. And then also because I was ordering I've also picked up some more reds to use in my heart sampler, which I have to get working on again. Reds and pinks. And poinsettia will join it too. Never a loss with overdyes. So I haven't worked on that one since the last time I showed it, so I just keep buying red floss for it, and I'm gonna use it sometime. I don't know when. I gotta work on that. I've said I'm gonna bring it to Stitch North, so I should hopefully do a little bit more work on it before Stitch North. I'm so excited for Stitch North. I'm vibrating. I booked my flight tickets. I've been chatting to people. I keep finding out more and more of my little internet friends are going, and it's like, oh my god, I get to meet this person. And then I have this list of I need to bring this pattern to pass on to this person. Oh, I should bring this pattern so I can stitch it with this person. Oh, I need to make sure I buy this from this person. And it is a fun spiral. It's my first retreat, and I have to stitch my small for it still. I don't think I'm doing table gifts because I'll be sitting with friends and I'm already bringing stuff for most of them, like hey, I said I'd bring you this pattern and things like that. So that might make me feel bad. So I might go and buy like coffees or something. I don't know. I have no idea. I've never been to a retreat and I feel like a little overwhelmed but excited at the same time. Like, and my flights suck. I am leaving at like midnight from here to arrive at like 6 a.m. there, and so I'm going to be running off of sleep deprivation and enthusiasm. And I hope they're ready for that. And this will be my second child-free weekend since August 2021, so I'm going to go a little wild at the cross-stitch convention. Yeah, I'm excited. So yeah, that has been what's been up with me the last month and a bit. I am hoping now that like I said, that we've got the work schedule like a little bit more even-keeled, I will be posting a little bit more regularly. I was never a regular poster, so that I'm a happy surprise when I pop up. But I do want to be like a little, like more in the range of 2 to 3 weeks. Just have to be a little bit more coordination of the schedule, like, and that's just on me. And yeah, and so that is everything we've done. That's everything I've started. Now I'm going to start a whole bunch of things because I have the urge. Got the dog in me. All right. Oh, you love me. Okay. And so me and my assistant say goodbye. Happy stitching. See you all soon. Say bye-bye. Okay. Bye, everyone.